Happy Sunday, beautiful people. Another warm one here in Kansas City. For some reason, that's holding on for quite a while here, going into Thanksgiving. But I've got something a little different for you this week. It's a conversation with a buddy of mine. His name is Mike. He works at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, and he's got some good stories and is also a bit of a history nut like myself. So this might be an interesting conversation for you all. He and I met on social media before social media existed, an old site called Bult.com. I'll show you a screenshot here so you can see it in all of its glorious 90s oldness. I did make a little boo boo. I didn't, for some reason, my part of the audio did not save correctly. So it's only got his audio, but that's okay because he does 90% of the talking, and I'll provide some screens so you guys can get the context of what's being discussed. Anyway, enjoy some cool stuff in this one, and please like and subscribe. Have a great day, folks.
which nobody else remembers. One of my favorites is it feels kind of like cheating, but the Temple of Dender. Just it's beautiful, and it's been my favorite since I was a little kid. And I don't really know how it's hard for anything else to compare to a literal temple, like walking in and seeing an entire building inside the Met with the water feature. And you used to be able to walk inside it when I was a kid. You can't do that anymore. But I love the Temple of Dender. Um, and I love recommending them for when tourists are coming and they've never been to the museum and they're there for one day. That's normally one of the things I tell them they got to see. Um, but also, there's a Salvador Dali painting, for some reason hidden away in a corner in the Renaissance art. It's his Crucifixion Corpus Hypercubus. The one, the floating crucifix made out of cubes with Jesus in front of it, just hovering, and it's all just floating in a bizarre void. I love that painting, and I love how bizarre it is coming in it. I think they wanted to have it there to juxtapose it against the older Catholic religious art. But I love that one just for how odd it is coming across it when you're in the middle of the Renaissance art. And I just love that painting. Yeah, there's the Chinese garden is also amazing. I love the Chinese garden. It has a little koi pond with fish in it, and it's beautiful, especially at night. It's apparently that style of garden was designed for moon viewing, so it's beautiful on the right night when the moon is right overhead. It's just gorgeous. Mm, it's hard to say. I mean, there. No, what's yours? What's yours? The ridiculous frame. Yeah, apparently that frame is historically accurate, though. That was supposed to be a reconstruction of the frame it was first displayed in. Um, I wouldn't say I dislike it, but right now we have an exhibit on John Singer Sargent and his sister Emily Sargent, and they have some cool stuff, including like sketches and informal illustrations that they did. But there's this one sketch that he did when I think he was that John Singer Sargent did when I think he was 14, and it's mostly just faces and hands, and it's a little just a an artist sketchbook thing. But there's one baby in this picture, and this demon baby, it has a tall, pointy head, sharp teeth, little claws. I don't know. It is. I don't know what. Apparently, 14-year-olds are always 14-year-olds, even if they're John Singer Sargent. But yeah, the weird demon baby in the middle of the John Singer Sargent 14-year-old art notebook. Yes, yes. So this is a story that supposedly comes from Night Shift Crew. And okay, for the record, I love ghost stories. I don't believe in ghosts. There is a logical explanation, and that logical explanation is probably that Night Shift is messing with us. But the story is there's a I love this room. It is one of the immersive rooms. It's a 1600s farmhouse room on the third floor of the America Wing. That was literally just disassembled down to the walls and rebuilt within the Met. And there's a baby cradle in it that supposedly rocks at night. Um, and if any room in the Met is haunted, it's either that or the rooms where they have the literal mummies. Like that room, it feels like a haunted house. Um, yeah, it's like that's a human body. Hmm. Yeah, and most of those mummies, we have their names. Like this was a court official. It's like, geez, we have the whole guy's whole obituary right here. But though I think is though I think that one maybe at the Natural History Museum. I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Also happens all the time. Won't believe how many people I have coming in and asking for directions to the dinosaurs. Literally the dinosaurs, not even a old art. The guys who asked for Neanderthal art was more understandable, but it's like we don't have any. We do have some Stone Age art. We have in Arms and Armor some beautifully carved hand axes that were made out of just beautiful quartz, and they're too large and in too perfect condition. They were probably never used, so we think they were ritual or artistic. So we've got those, but no actual Neanderthal art yet. Maybe someday. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it has King Henry VIII's armor, and they have two sets of King Henry VIII's armor now too, so you can actually see how different he looked at different times in his life. I really like interacting with the guests. That is definitely my favorite part of it, and I've met some really nice people, some really interesting people. Um, okay, most unique. Um, I don't know. I had some really nice ones. I had a young woman who was 18 and from outside the city and was visiting, and she said that it was not only her first time in the Met, it was her first time in a museum ever. And her family had made a special trip for her 18th birthday, which was really sweet. And she wanted to. She was actually up on third floor American Wing in the haunted baby cradle room. Um, and oh, actually, another cool one that happened up in the American Wing was Halloween night. I was working, which I was kind of bummed because I was working Halloween night, but it was completely empty because very few people go to the museum on Halloween night. And so there was just a handful of people there, and I was up by the haunted room, and so I got to talk to the guests and tell them, it's like, yeah, yeah, that's a haunted room on Halloween night. And then we hear this mysterious rhythmic booming that just won't stop, and I finally realize I'm passing a window and see a really spectacular fireworks display going on over Central Park. So got to watch a little bit of that because it wasn't very busy, not very long. I mean, I had to keep patrolling and stuff, but it was nice every time I walked by that window, I could watch some of it, and I got to see the finale, so that was fun. Um, um, okay, cool stories. So there was a little girl who must have been about 4 years old who was very, very excited that she wanted to ask me directions. She didn't want her mom to ask directions. She wanted to. She wanted to find Degas ballerinas, and she also wanted to show off her water bottle because it was bigger than her old one because she's a big kid now, and it was blue with rainbows on it. And she was very proud of it. She wanted to tell me about it, and I feel like everybody should know. And we had the most elaborately dressed group. I think they were Chinese tourists. They spoke very little English, so I'm not entirely sure why they were so elaborately dressed, but they were wearing. I'm not sure if this were traditional outfits or artistic outfits, but they were gorgeous. She had pearls glued to her face. It was beautiful. But they were looking for the Jesus painting. They could not be more specific than that. And we're a bit surprised to find out that there were lots of Jesus paintings. I think they meant this particular Madonna and Child that is apparently the most expensive thing the Met ever bought. So that's where I sent them. So I hope that's what they were looking for. I definitely sent that. It's in medieval, so it was definitely around a lot of Jesus paintings. Anytime.